do my... Hello, it's Scott Manley here.
Hello.
Hello, and we are here with Philippe, Mike, and Chad. And we are in San Francisco for Game Developer Conference 2003. And how are you guys liking it? What does it say in your badge? So I can clone it. Technical Artist Squad. All access, dude.
Check that out. We even have a squad bag.
Oh my gosh, I want one.
Fancy, isn't it?
Are you presenting at the show, or are you just attending?
No, I'm alright.
We're obviously getting breakfast at this time at Mel's Drive-In, a somewhat notorious San Francisco establishment.
Why is it notorious?
Probably because it's a trashy tourist trap.
Yay.
Which means things happen here.
Yeah. The person who invited us here was Mr. Scott Manley.
I wasn't sure I invited. The last time, actually every time I've been here, I've been very drunk.
So, we're like, hey, where's a good place to go? And Scott's like, let's go to Mel's Diner. All right.
You asked for a place that was within walking distance of GDC. And it came up. There's many other options that are possibly cheaper.
Oh well. But now they get to experience classic Americana.
Yes, classic Americana.
Look at that.
This is how you thought the whole of America was like, right, Mike?
This is how the whole
Yes,
America
the jukebox at the table.
Yeah. Considering that we're outside the bad part of town, he's been getting the colorful local flavor.
Yeah, I like the fact that this is sitting open at Journey and Don't Stop Believin', which is a San Francisco anthem of sorts.
Is it?
It's like the only thing that people play in jukeboxes.
I like all the names of the songs, like Who's Crying Now? Well, can't help it. Send her my love.
And the Beach Boys as well, classic California.
Yeah, we're in California.
How are you finding San Francisco then, other than that? I mean,
It's very nice, apart from where our hotel is.
apart from where your hotel... Classic newbie mistake, right? Stay away from 6th Street. The hotels are cheap, but there's a reason for that. They rent many of those rooms by the hour.
Yeah, we also learned that picking your hotel room a week from the GDC is a bad idea.
Yeah.
We learned that.
Lessons learned all around.
Yeah, I mean, I think for you guys, Kerbal Space Program... Yeah, Kerbal Space Program has been a lesson, a learning experience, right? I've watched you struggle with the Kraken, very specifically.
Handle the Kraken.
Right, well, it's something I'd encountered in the past, and so it's kind of like, I remember making those mistakes. Yeah. And,
Come across pretty much every problem you could possibly have with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's a fantastic new bug I just discovered. Oh, and it's with wheels, by the way. You did the wheel code, right? Yes. Marvelous stuff, but apparently, if you build... You can drive these things around on top of other vehicles, right?
Yeah.
But if that vehicle happens to be traveling at orbital speeds, then the burst speed is the orbital velocity. So you could build a nice track in space and drive around it, but you burst your tires instantly. Yes, people are building racetracks in the skies already.
You didn't think about that, Chad, did you?
It's not contact speed, it's surface speed.
Yeah, isn't it?
But yes, I mean,
I should have accounted for people driving in space.
Yes. I think you need to account for people doing everything.
It's
You
a
really
fantastic
do.
bug, certainly.
You know what? Like, I'm okay with that bug. I'm okay with that bug because, like, oh, what? You didn't account for people, driving around on Dyson spheres? Oh, right.
Well, you have to travel at least at orbital velocity to travel around the Dyson sphere, but yes. Oh, marvelous.
Maybe. If you use just rigid body velocity, you're under Kraken's bane when you're in orbit, so it's fine. Could potentially get around that.
There you see, you guys solving problems as well. This is a working breakfast, so you can write off as a business expense.
Overtime for this one.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But I mean,
Now a business meeting.
Oh, we can write it off on our taxes.
oh, I can write it off on my taxes as well, as long as I make advertising money.
Right. By Scott Manley.
Yes. Oh no, but what is the most amazing thing? I mean, you must have seen quite a few things that people have done and created that's just literally made your jaws drop. I did not think that anyone would do that.
It's every day.
Every day?
Every day we find something that's amazing.
The other day we had the guy who made models of cars.
Yeah.
The,
Meticulous Mitch?
yeah, fantastic.
He did the helicopter as well.
Did he?
I saw your video on the helicopter trying to fly.
That was complete genius, that design.
It was the most entertaining 5 minutes of KSP footage I've ever seen.
I've been.
I wanted to suggest though, couldn't you throttle down to maintain?
Oh, that would have assumed that I was smart enough to. I did try flying later, but I strictly wanted the first look because it was more hilarious.
It was.
I think one of the things that surprised me most recently is with the wheels, people have made actual like unicycles and one-wheeled robots and motorcycles.
I saw
and
something that looked like a little.
like the first
robot
prototype motorcycle I saw had like these little pylons coming off it with RCS atop to balance it as it was running, and I was just sitting there like I just never in my mind did I expect them to actually make them. And then later on they had like prototypes that had like a little sidecar like Indiana Jones style. You know, you can sit a little Kerbal in there, and they've been using like ladders and even like the landing legs as seat belts.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Oh wow! I've been building hang gliders.
That's cool.
You drive up and then let it go with that guy hanging on. It typically catches him by the neck and
I saw a
neck
guy,
slams him.
He built this giant robot type thing using the new construction parts.
Yeah.
It was just like this Megazord type thing, and he used it to attack the tracking station. Didn't
Awesome!
end very well for it, but it was very entertaining.
Our tracking station's hard,
It is.
Yes.
I've been enjoying the rovers because, like, one thing I didn't expect is that they're going slow enough that when they wreck, they generally don't just explode. So they tend to just tumble apart in this really satisfying way. So, you know, you'll land and the whole front of your car will rip off in, like, bits and pieces. And there's just, like, strewn debris for 100 yards or something along those lines.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
I like plane crashes for that reason a lot of the time.
Yeah.
They cartwheel and
It's a lot more satisfying. We were actually having a talk about that last night, about how to make it even better.
well, what you need is more black boxes that come off or
We
something.
want gibs and stuff that flies around the crash, not just the lead parts.
Not Kerbal Gibbs though. That would be cruel.
You know, actually, there was a prototype once.
The Kerbal
It's
splat
doing
system.
entirely.
Oh, what did it gravestones when they died?
Worm-style gravestones.
Oh right, or cannon fodder is what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, cannon fodder as well.
War. It's never been so much fun.
It certainly has. But yeah, they had when your pod exploded, your Kerbals would fly out and then splat on the floor.
Oh, what is that? The squad secret handshake piece? Because you're in San Francisco, right?
To all men on Earth.
Yeah. Have you gone to the Haight yet? Haight Ashbury Hippie Central, like 1960s, you know? Grateful Dead.
I've not been there.
Yeah, no. Have you been to the Rocket on the waterfront?
I've not. I only got here Sunday evening.
Okay. If you follow this street all the way down, there's a rocket sculpture on the waterfront. The vintage Gothic rocket. It went to Burning Man. Okay, so what's your schedule? What are you doing today at GDC? What do you think is the hotness?
We're going to the Unity presentation.
Oh, great. Are you going to ask them about the bug that causes the game to crash whenever I move the window?
Well, actually, we did talk to the folks over at Justin TV, and I got the card of their engineer. So the Twitch guys, and we're going to see possibly about integrating the recording right into the game, so you can just not have to inject into our renderer and make it crash in very sad ways.
Yeah, well, that'll work for some people, but not for me. I need my high quality rendering.
Well, I mean, what it does is instead of capturing it externally with another program, It's just a DLL that loads in actually into the game, so you can record at the actual native resolution of the game. It's a lot faster, and you don't have the same kind of quality issues you do when you're just trying to grab it off the screen.
Sounds great. That sounds great. What I would really like to see.
PlanetSide does it, for instance.
Well, while I'm here, since you mentioned it, can we get the ability to record just the data, the in-flight data, and then replay so we can change the camera angles and crap?
Plans for something like that. Well, at least my original plans were for an external interface that would just stream game data out of the game.
Sounds great. And then you could have people in mission control. Yeah.
I don't think replays are going to happen anytime.
Well, if you stream the data out of the game and then just have a client able to read the data back in.
Still, we've got bigger fish to fry.
I see. Well,
yet another one on the ever-growing list of features.
Yes.
What I think we could add probably pretty reasonably is maybe, reducing time below 1x and then allowing free camera movement. Yeah, so like a lot of the people that make the videos, they want to be able to stop time or to be able to actually move the camera without being the center. So you could set up on the tower and do like a Top Gun style flyby or something. Because then you're not linked. Because right now the ship always needs to be the center. You can kind of pan, but it's still slave to it. So if you wanted to like set up,
be parented to the vessel, but it wouldn't necessarily be always orbiting it. You could detach it and have it fly around the ship. It's still centered on the ship, but it flies freely.
And perhaps even the ability to not link its motion, so that way you can actually keep the camera still as the vessel is moving. Because right now they track together.
Yeah.
So
it's hard work. We have to detach pieces ahead and then fly past them.
I think we're alright.
We're good.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty easy.
I know. Mine's too big.
It's American portions, right? They basically increase the size of the portion so you think you're getting value for money, right? And then you don't eat it all and take it home. So, have you guys decided what's going to be fixed for 0.20 yet, or you?
Oh, we have a very big list.
We've got a big list.
It's a very, very big list.
Hopefully it's going to be a mic patch.
A mic?
I get stuff in the game this time.
He's been working on all this really cool underlying tech that is too big to get done in one update. So I work on like part modules and I work on things that are more granular. So a lot of my stuff's going to go in a smaller update.
Yeah.
Because I did the animation system and the wheels and a lot of small things. But now he's going to come in and it's going to be like these big chunky systems and meaty things.
New planets. No.
A new way of setting the system up. So
User-generated systems.
it's probably possible to hack the new system.
Because people would really love that. And then you will just get Endor and everything else.
But at least most importantly now, it's going to drastically reduce memory usage.
Yeah.
Loading the flight sim. So hopefully games will stop crashing around with people.
We need to do a bit of optimization before we start adding more, because we're kind of hitting this point of almost critical mass where we're hitting the memory limits of most traditional 32-bit systems. We're hitting,
and you're still a 32-bit client, right? You're still,
That's Unity.
They don't have a 64-bit build yet?
It's a 64-bit option, but
It's probably not stable on Mac or Linux, right? Yeah.
it just doesn't run. Like I've done 64-bit builds, and generally speaking, it runs great, but it crashes, and there's no pattern to the crashing. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I haven't been able to trace it to anything at all. So it's sort of like, at that point, you're looking at the entire game code for what could possibly be the issue, instead of having some sort of I don't even have an area to start poking
it's
in.
impossible to track down. And if we're doing that to improve stability, that's not doing a very good job.
Yeah. I hear it. It's just part of the thing of being a dev, right? You hit limits in weird ways.
The thing is even if we made a 64-bit client, that's not helping all the people with 32-bit, because they're the one with the problem. So if you're running a 32-bit OS, a 64-bit client is going to do you absolutely no good.
Can you still buy 32-bit systems?
Absolutely.
Yeah? God.
You can go back in time.
Yes, let's go back in time. We're not going to have time travel, right?
And bring out Windows. But yeah, that's the thing is we're getting so many parts, we're getting so many planets, we're getting like so much everything that we got to start dealing with it now.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily the most fun thing to work on because I want to be doing like new cool stuff, that blows up and breaks and catches on fire.
You want to do the things that make you lose performance, not gain performance.
Like re-entry heat. Oh yes.
Okay, so
Optimization is like dieting.
well, as I was saying, I think the game at this point, I was saying off camera earlier, the game at this point really is very much complete in many places, and polish is a real legitimate target for work.
And I'm happy to see that it's finally taking shape and starting to look like something. And some areas of the game are actually in a state of completion more than in earlier versions, everything was a midway solution. Everything was a placeholder. So now we're finally getting to the point where you start to see some final quality systems taking place, which is good. At least some areas of the game are approaching that state. So I finally started thinking about.
I'm looking forward to just being able to go through and like really flesh out a lot of the things, like put an RCS balancer in, like add all kinds of special effects to the existing modules, clean them up, make them more robust. Because right now, like I put in the framework for so much stuff, and after you do that and you see how people are using it, you go, oh, yes, well, people are going to be riding on the inside of things in orbit. Better adjust how I do the velocity calculations. Yes.
It's an iterative process. But I mean, I was also saying earlier, Steam has been a huge thing, right? You're being top 10 or number 1 in some cases for the past week almost now. And and my contribution was using top. Say we figured out that over 500,000 people saw a tweet about this in the first hour. It was really amazing, like to think the number of people that are seeing Kerbal Space Program now. It boggles the mind. Just think how many astronauts out there. And this game is really changing. There are kids who really are taking up science or staying in science because they've started playing this.
I think one of the things that most astounds me, most amazes me, is how people actually are getting into the science of it. It's actually generating an interest. At first, we never intended the game to be educational. We just wanted it to be above average realist. And now we see people going on the forums saying, I learned so much from this game, and it sparked my interest in space science and stuff.
I see people.
It's amazing.
I keep on having to refer people asking for career advice on how to get into aeronautics, and it really just warms my heart to see this, creating a generation of, well, maybe not.
Like even for me, I've always loved science, I've loved space, I've loved like sci-fi, and always thought it was really fascinating. But when I started playing the game, it's I've always like seen about orbits, but you don't really have an understanding of it, until you actually start being like, oh well, how do I maneuver in orbit? How do I slingshot? How do I transfer? How do I like change the shape? Like by actually playing it, you get this kind of actual intuitive understanding of how it works instead of it being this massive complication, It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's a marvelous world that you have created, and I have shouted at you when you've done things wrong. And I shout at you in a loving way, like I shout at my children.
Yes. We appreciate it. I still need to adjust the solar panels to follow the inverse square law.
Yeah, well, as I saw on the resource chart that you were making light a resource, so that way the solar panels will just look at the local, resources and absorb it, right?
It kind of works like that now, so that's why we have it set up like that. It's a resource, even though it's coming from a different source and everything else.
Well, but it's a resource that's on or off right now.
But we figure that other devices may end up using sunlight as a resource as well. eventually in the future.
And so you don't want to have to recode the curve every time, in every part.
Well, right now, each part handles its own implementation of light. I think what you're referring to is having like global light as a
External
resource.
calculations.
Right, and have the part just say, I'm providing this many square meters, no?
No, same way we have external calculations to get the atmospheric density and such. We would have the same thing to query the sunlight at that position.
Well,
That works.
yeah, I mean, it's all awesome.
And then it's just a matter of saying like, hey, I want, like this is how big I am, and I'm taking this much light from the ambient. And then we can actually read that, and we take into account if you're included in the planet, and I wouldn't have to do like ray casting that sometimes fails.
So we still have to do it. We would just move that code somewhere else so other themes can access it.
Well, I guess, yeah, that's true.
But yet another one for the ever-growing.
For the ever-growing bug list, which is how long now? I mean,
It's got a couple of hundred things on it. Well, the ones we bothered to write down, actually. There's others that keep popping up, and eventually we write them down. It's yet another one.
well, yeah, I mean, I know the way bug lists work, and I've learned in my years it's better to start writing them down, because then you feel good when you close those bugs out.
Oh yeah, nothing feels better than closing an issue.
I checked off 3 things today. I feel okay about myself.
Yeah,
Only 50 cents to go.
only yes. But
Never mind, 4 bugs were added in the time you fixed the 3. At least you feel better.
okay. Thanks very much for the conversation and the interview. We'll let you get to Games Developer Conference. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. As I said, go visit the Rocket, see the Bay Bridge at night, Academy of Science, museums, bars, lots of drinking. Yeah. Tornadoes, beer, 21st Amendment. Yeah. As I said, have fun, fly safe.